Hello everybody, welcome back. Today's Easter challenge is to set up an Easter egg hunt for somebody in your household to have a go at. So here's how I'm going to do mine. I have cut out some egg shapes from card, and you can see that I've decorated them. Some of them I've decorated with natural materials. So this one I've just collected some leaves from my garden to stick on. This one I used some of the feathers from my crafting tray and have stuck those on to decorate it. This one I have decorated using just some grass cuttings from my lawn. This one was all sorts of shiny things that I had in my crafting tray, so I've just stuck those on to decorate that egg. This one I used lots of different flowers that I found in my garden, so you can see some daisies there and some petals from other flowers that I've decorated that one with. This one is just some dried pine needles and things like that I found in my garden. And then the final one is some leaves from a plant in my garden. So I've decorated my eggs, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hide them in my garden for somebody to find. But here is the challenge. What I'm challenging you to do is to actually draw a map of your garden and mark the positions of the eggs that you're hiding on the map to help guide the person that is hunting for them. So here is how I'm going to draw my map. Okay, so first of all I'm going to draw the main shape of my garden. My garden is roughly a rectangle, so it's got a long edge and then a short edge and then another long edge, but actually there's a little bit that goes around the side of my house that sticks down like that. So that's the first thing to do when you're drawing your map, is to get the main shape of your garden. And then actually it doesn't really matter if the features that are on your map are the right size. In other words, it doesn't really matter if you don't draw your map to scale. The important thing is that the main features are in the right place and are the right shape. So in the corner of my garden, I have a trampoline which is round. So I'm going to draw a circle there that marks where the trampoline is. And then in the other corner of my garden, I have a shed which is a rectangle. So I'm going to put a rectangle there, and that's going to be my shed. So even though those two objects might not be drawn to scale, they're the right shape and they're in the right place. Then across the back of the garden, between my trampoline and my shed, I have a vegetable patch, and at one end near the trampoline there's a bush, and at the other end near the shed is a tree. Now what you might notice is that when I'm drawing my map, I'm drawing it from what we call a bird's eye view. So if I was a bird that was flying over the top of my garden, this is what it would look like from the sky. When I look down, my trampoline would look like a round circle shape, my shed would look like a rectangle shape. Next to my trampoline is a sort of wiggly flower bed, and about halfway along the flower bed is a little pond that Ruby has made. So I'm going to put that little pond in there. Then next to my house we have a decking area that goes all the way along the back, and on the decking is a table with two benches and a stool at each end. Then the doors from my house open out like that, and there is a gate here. Okay. Then at the end of the decking there's a step that comes down, and there's actually a sort of sleeper that goes across like that. And then up to the shed there's another flower bed or vegetable patch there. My washing line is in the middle of the lawn there, and if I was to look down from my washing line from above, I think it would look like a sort of square shape with spokes coming out from the centre, and then it looks almost like a sort of spider's web. Those are the washing line bits that I hang my washing onto. So that's there. And then around the side of my house, there is a bench, which looks a little bit like that, I suppose, from above. And next to the bench, there is a barbecue, which is a rectangle shape. So that is my map of my garden. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark on the map where I'm going to hide my Easter eggs. So I actually have 7 Easter eggs to hide. So whilst you're doing this bit, you need to make sure that nobody is peeking. So I'm going to put one of my Easter eggs somewhere on my trampoline. So I'm going to put a little cross there to mark one of them. I think I might put one of my eggs maybe underneath my barbecue. So I'm going to put a little cross there to mark that one. Perhaps I could peg one to my washing line. So I'm going to put a little X there. Maybe I could put one just next to the pond. I'll put a little X there for that one. I might hide one perhaps inside the shed. So I could put a little cross there. So how many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, I've got 2 more. Oh, I could hide one underneath the table. And the last one, maybe I will put the last one somewhere on my gate. I've actually got my waterfall on my gate still, so I could hide one somewhere in my waterfall. So let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's my map. That's what I'm going to give to somebody to see if they can find my eggs that I hide. Okay, so now I've made my map, I'm going to add an extra challenge to whoever it is that does my Easter egg hunt, because what I'm going to do is I've chosen a word that is sort of related to Easter, and I'm going to write one letter of the word on the back of each of my eggs. So I said I've got 7 eggs altogether, so the word that I've chosen has got 7 letters. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write it, I'm going to spell it out by writing one letter on the back of each egg. So again, you'll need to make sure that nobody is peeking when you do this bit, otherwise they'll know what the secret word is. There we go. So I've written out my word. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and hide the eggs in the locations that I've marked on my map, and then I'm going to see if somebody in my household wants to have a go and test out my Easter egg hunt. Okay, here I go. So there we go, my map worked, and Ruby managed to decode my secret word, which was chicken. Some of you will have noticed that actually one of my eggs was missing a bit. That's because Luna the dog found it before Ruby did, so I had to hide it again and put Luna inside so she didn't eat any more of my eggs. So there you go, maybe that's something that you could do this Easter weekend for somebody that lives in your household. Have a go at making an Easter egg hunt with a treasure map and a secret code for them to have a go at. And tomorrow I'll see you for our final activity of Easter week. Bye.